Alrighty, welcome back. Episode 3 of Wavyshi podcast. It's just gonna be me for a sec. I'm gonna talk about a few things. I first off want to say Tiger Woods. He got in a car accident in California, and I'm a big golfer, and I just know that he's been struggling a lot recently, and it's sad to see him have another feat that he has to, or obstacle he has to go over, but I think that he'll come back. He'll come back stronger like he does, and show that he's, the GOAT of golf for a reason. The other thing I wanted to bring up, I've been really getting into boxing, UFC, that stuff. I have a friend who's been getting into boxing mostly, but he's 1-0 right now in MMA. So Canelo is fighting tomorrow, and that's just a big fight, and that's who my friend kind of looks up to. His head dodging, all of that, his head movements, the way he punches, all that. I don't know. He's learning from him, shadow boxing, and we'll definitely talk about more boxing stuff because I'm getting into that. I know a lot of friends who are too. But yeah, just wanted to start off by saying prayers out to Tiger, and we'll be rooting on Canelo tomorrow night on February 27th, pay-per-view. But I want to go ahead and bring in our guest, the third guest, special one, Sarah Humbert, if you want to come on in. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. First off, I want to say you are the creator of the Wavyshi sign. Just want to say thanks for that. It really helped me get that base, like that, I don't know how to say it. Like that platform or that brand, like that first brand, like thing that's going for me. Yeah. So because of that,
exciting. I'm so happy you asked me.
Yeah. And so you're into that. You're into art. I just wanted to kind of start this off by saying, one, you're a good artist. Two, what are how do you use art? Like, why? What got you into it? All that sort of stuff.
Okay, so I wasn't really an artistic child.
Mm-hmm.
I was not good at art. Okay, and I'm still not today. Like, I wouldn't.
Like in school? Like you weren't like.
Yeah, okay. Or I mean, just in general, when I would try and like draw, it just wouldn't be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I still am not, but I have the patience to like continue trying until I get it right.
That's good.
So I can't just like look at a piece of paper and draw something amazing. Like It takes me so many times.
Yeah.
In order to do so. And I really started getting into art at like a year ago, probably around this time when COVID hit and we were quarantined, and I was so bored. And I was also going through some personal struggles.
Yeah.
And so art, like I just started painting random things. I don't know. I would just look on Pinterest and find what looked easiest to do. And I would just like paint that, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not the best artist, so it took me so long to do something so little.
Yeah.
So it took up a lot of my time, which was really nice.
Yeah, but I think in a time like that, at least when you're saying you were kind of dealing with some stuff, it's kind of good to like have like that escape, like that happy place. I don't know. I've not really been like into art and all that, but I definitely say like I used to draw as a kid a lot, and I really liked it. I used it as like ways to go about my day. I know that's what you just said, but and also, but you also got an iPad around there. So I wanted to ask, is like digital more your thing? Do you not really like paper? Like how did that sort of help you with art?
Yeah. So I got an iPad probably 6 months ago for school, and first of all, it's the best decision I've ever made. Yeah. I'm so happy I purchased it. I use it every day for a variety of things. I just like forced my dad to get one.
There you go.
And I was like, you need it. And I knew that like drawing on the iPad was something that was really popular. And I downloaded Procreate, which is like the professional, like what all like the digital artists use. And it was really expensive, but I was like, oh well. And I'm really glad I did. I started just messing around on there, drawing on like pictures and just kind of doing like little edits. And then I designed a logo for a friend's mom's like practice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like what is she, a doctor?
Okay. She's like a residency program director, and I designed a little logo for them to use with like their social media and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was really what got me into like it. That kind of forced me to learn how to use like all the fancy things of Procreate, mm-hmm. and that was really fun.
How long did that take you?
It took me probably like a day or two. She gave me some ideas, and the first one that I did was like not good at all. Like I'm really embarrassed when I look at it.
Did you send it to her?
Yeah. Oh. And I was like, oh no, why would I send that? And then I like redid one, and that was the second one. Yeah. Nice. So it's good.
Yeah, we'll pop up a photo here. I'll do that.
Oh God.
Pop up a photo. There you go. Okay, you're also so bringing in like the whole aspect of art. I'm really into music. I use music all the time to, go about my day, whether or not I'm driving, whether or not I'm in school, whether or not I'm trying to do homework. I don't know. It helps me, and I have a lot of sort of different people I listen to, but you are the exact opposite. I tried to get you to listen to some people, and you were like, no, I like the silence. So, I don't know. Why do you find that you can't connect to music?
I don't know. I've tried to figure it out a lot, and I'm just not a musical person. I tried like playing the viola in middle school, was not good at it. Like when we would tune it, like I couldn't physically like try, like I tried so hard to be able to match the tone, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I don't.
So did that kind of stop you from liking music because you found it that you weren't like succeeding, or is there other problems?
Not really. I think it was more just, I don't really know. I don't think that like deterred me away from music, but it definitely didn't help, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I like music. I just don't have like a connection to it. Like I could care less what song is playing,
Yeah.
But I like, how people.
But do you dance? Like if a song is on, will you find yourself dancing?
Yeah. Okay. So the one time I do get like connected to music is at like concerts.
Oh, okay.
And stuff.
Well, yeah.
But that's mostly like you have to. It's the atmosphere.
Yeah. What concerts have you been to?
I've been to like a few. My favorites that like stick out are Quinn 92.
Okay, yeah.
That was at Egyptian Room.
There you go.
That was my favorite.
Who'd you go with?
Love him. I went with Henna and then another girl.
Nice.
And then I went to Love. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
LAUV. It's really good. My brother and I are both obsessed with him, and we were actually in New York for fall break, and I just happened to look at if there were any concerts in New York, and he was there when we were there.
That's cool.
And it was really cool.
So you say you really like him, like at that point were you listening to music, or like you just, when the song came on, you were like, oh, I actually like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I do is I choose an artist and I listen to only their music for like a month until I know all the words.
So like what kind of music?
That means I like them.
What kind of music?
It's probably just like pop, what you would consider like pop or whatever. I definitely don't like rap because I can't rap, so I can't like sing along. That's the only time.
Can't speak fast?
No.
So you like singing along too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But if it's not like interactive, I don't find it stimulating.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely know some artists who you would definitely not like them. Yeah, not at all. Another thing, moving topics, because this I feel really, really bad for. And I think you know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
So I went to Five Guys one day with all my friends, and I parked right in front of this place called Bliss Nutrition. And Bliss Nutrition is a really good place. I've heard a lot of good things from other people about it. And they were like, hey, can you use these business cards and hand them out at school? Because it's run by a Burbuff where we both go to school, high school. A Burbuff alum owns it and runs it. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, I'll go ahead and show everybody. I gave it to Sarah. I gave one of the cards to her, and she went that same day And she said, so she has a peanut allergy?
Yeah.
Peanut allergy. She was trying to make sure that there was no peanuts going into it. And I guess not. I'm so sorry about that.
No,
but
it's okay. I'm so confused on what happened. I had such a good conversation with this woman, and I watched her make the protein shake.
Oh.
And it was their first day open. And I was talking to her about it, and
okay.
everything that she was using literally looked clean. And I had mentioned when we were like looking at the flavors that I had peanut allergy, and then when she started making it, she was like, "Oh yeah, you have an allergy. Like I'll make sure to be careful." And so I was not expecting that. And then I'm driving home and I drink it, and I'm like, this like doesn't taste good.
Does it taste like peanuts?
No, it just, I don't know if it was just the like shake in general,
or maybe
or if it was like my body knowing something was up.
Yeah.
But I was like, this does not taste good. And then I started like getting a really bad stomach ache, which is, and it's like this certain feeling, and I just know like I'm having a reaction.
So, did you have to just drive home as soon as possible and get like an EpiPen?
Well, okay, what'd you do? I didn't have. Well, I had an EpiPen with me, but it didn't get to the point where I was like, I need it. So I drove home. Like I was just trying to be aware of like if any other symptoms like popped up. So I think I got like a hive or two on my hands. But for the most part, I was like breathing fine. So I was like, okay, I'll get home. I'll take some Benadryl. I'll talk to my dad, see what he thinks.
How many sips did you take? Just 2? Or...
probably like 3 or 4. Okay. Just because I really wanted to like this place.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, they seem so nice.
Yeah, they were so nice. And I was like, I want to support you. Like
maybe it was like the protein powder and something.
Yeah, I don't something know. Like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have other stories though where you were like needing to grab the EpiPen?
So there's like one other. Well, actually 2, but one of them was on a boat. Oh. This one was like probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we were at my cousin's lake house. We were on the boat. We were like anchored. Yeah. And we were just like swimming around, and I got out of the water and I was really hungry, so I just grabbed like a bag of like popcorn out of the like chip bag.
Yeah, but you want to think popcorn has peanuts.
Yeah, it was Cracker Jack, which is like caramel popcorn and peanuts, and I didn't realize that, and it just looked like caramel popcorn. I was like, oh, delicious. Dang. And I like took one like handful, and I was like, oh god. And then I like spit it out, and then we didn't have an EpiPen or Benadryl with us on the boat. So we had to like speed home. Oh. And that was a little scary.
Yeah. Were you having breathing problems?
No, I wasn't. That's good. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I haven't had like a severe enough reaction where I've had to use the EpiPen or like really struggled breathing. Which is weird because my allergist, I've done like blood tests to see like where the antibody, like they're called like IgE antibodies in and they like attack the protein of the food, and I have like a severely high amount of antibodies for peanuts in my blood, and they were like, you should be having like super severe reactions. You should be like hospitalized. Like this is it's really bad. But then my reactions haven't been as bad as like my blood shows they should be.
So a question about the other story is, did you consume a lot? Because it seems like when you have the Cracker Jacks, you just took a bite and then spit it out, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that like wasn't in your like digested, all of that stuff. So was the other one, did you digest a lot or no?
No. Well, yeah.
So what was the other story? Go ahead, say it.
So it was Christmas Eve, right? We were at my grandparents' house with all my cousins, all my aunt and uncles. This was 2 years ago. This was freshman year. Oh. So maybe 3. I don't know. And we had like open presents. We were just like chilling. And in the dining room, we had like all the cookies and like desserts out. And so I like went in there and I went and just grabbed a cookie. And my mom always has like a special tray, and she puts all like the peanut-free cookies on there. So like me and my other cousin has a peanut allergy, so like it's our tray. And I grabbed one off of it, and I ate it. And
you
then I
thought
was
it was
like,
good.
oh, like that was good. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like, my tongue feels weird.
Oh, did it start swelling?
Yeah. And I was like, that's so weird. And then I didn't tell anyone that. And then it like went away. And then I started having the stomach pains.
Oh.
And I was like, what is going on?
What do you have
And
to do when you get stomach pains? Just take Benadryl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually it goes away. But this time I didn't like connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to bed still having like severe stomach pains. And then I woke up at like 4 a.m. and threw up.
Jeez, yeah.
And then my mom like put together that it was an allergic reaction. She was like, well, what was the last thing you ate? And I was like, this cookie. She was like, well, what type was it? And she was like, they're called butterscotchies. I don't know if you've ever, they're so good. And my aunt had made them, but with peanut butter chocolate chips instead of butterscotch chocolate chips.
Dang.
So
did she do that on purpose? I mean, obviously she didn't like want to kill you.
Yeah. So what we think happened was they were on the tray next to it and someone had like grabbed it and then put it back in the wrong spot or something like that.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't seem like you've had like that many bad like digesting problems, but I know like I have cousins. I have these cousins who live out in California, like over by Disneyland, and when we go out and see them, it's always fun because we go out to like Disneyland.
That's so fun.
Yeah, and that's super cool. Anyways, we always have to be super careful because the two younger cousins are both allergic to dogs, peanut butter, like basically all the above. I don't know exactly, but they're allergic to a lot. So when we go there to their house, they have a dog, which is weird. But the dog
hypoallergenic.
No, so the dog actually stays outside and has like a dog house. So
what's the point of having a dog?
Well, so they've had it for a really long time. Oh, okay. I don't know. I think actually the oldest one, whose name is Bear, actually just passed away. I think not just, but within the past year, I think, which is sad. But he was like in the teens, like he was old. He was an old dog.
Wow.
Yeah, and been with them for a while. But then they got a new one named Buddy. He's young, so I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so we always have to be careful. And I know that they've had really bad stories where they've had to use the EpiPen and all that stuff. And I just know it gets scary. I'm glad you haven't had to deal with that.
Yeah. It's weird. The past 4 years, I've had more issues with it than ever. Which you would think being younger, I would be less responsible and stuff. And I still am responsible. It's just these
things, they're rare. I mean, those are all rare occurrences.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the peanut butter popcorn.
Yeah.
You were just
I was
just wanting food. Yeah. Exactly.
But at work, we have a few smoothies.
Where do you work?
I work at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
There you go. All right.
We have some smoothies with peanut butter in it, and there's one food item with peanut butter. And so I have to be really careful doing that because if peanut butter does get on my hands or skin, I'll get hives.
Do you just have other people make that stuff?
Usually. But if we're in a rush, I don't want to be a bother. So I'll risk my life.
Yeah. There you go. Just all for the bread. But you use that money, right, to buy your iPad?
I did, yeah.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, you've worked a lot over quarantine in the summer. You still do too, right?
Yeah,
How many hours are you working?
I usually work 12 hours a week.
There you go.
I like it. It's nice. It keeps me on my toes, I guess, because it's not I get home from school and I have so much free time. It's I have to get my homework done because I'm working tonight and stuff.
That's true. Yeah, it keeps you on top of everything.
Yeah, and during quarantine, it got me out of the house, and a few of my friends also got jobs there, so that was really fun.
Yeah. How are you liking the school year?
It's been fine. Yeah. I mean,
well, so we have a hybrid schedule. Half the class goes in, half the class doesn't. They stay home. But you were in the other cohort for
the first semester.
Yeah, and then you switched over.
Yeah.
I don't know. How you been liking school?
I mean, I really like it a lot this semester.
You do? Seeing everybody?
So much better being in the new cohort.
Just because all your friends.
I'm with all my friends now. And that it was such it was a decision that I had been thinking about making since we got assigned the cohorts.
Yeah.
Asking to switch.
Why didn't you do it earlier?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't think it was going to last that long.
True.
I thought I was going to be
back at home.
annoying to the administration. Yeah. And I was also driving 2 kids who were like had to be in the same
Okay.
cohort. So I was like, I can't just leave them.
So what'd you say to him?
Well, I decided so I was in Colorado the first week of school, and I decided I talked to my mom on the Lyft one day about it, and she was like, Sarah, just switch. Like, it's your second semester. Like, it's gonna be like this for a while. Like, just switch. And I was like, okay. And then I just texted them and I was like, hey guys, I'm switching. Sorry.
There you go. Wait, who'd you get in contact with? The dean?
Oh, yeah, just the principal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to Rebuff. It's a religious school. So I know.
What a great segue.
Yeah, just to right into it. It's kind of we're a Jesuit school, so it's more like Christianity, Catholicism, like all that stuff. Are you religious?
Yeah.
You are? So how would you say you because okay, I've had experiences in life where I've tried to reach out, and I was baptized, so I was growing up in a Catholic household, so I kind of know all that stuff, and my grandparents are really into it, blah blah blah. So I don't know. Just tell me how have you tried to connect with God, blah blah blah. Do you connect with God, or do you just believe in spirituality?
Yeah. So I would consider myself a Catholic.
Catholic, okay.
But a progressive Catholic. And I all my whole family is Catholic, extended family, everything. So Catholicism is the only faith I've been completely exposed to until Rebuff. But it's worked for me, so I haven't felt the need to explore other things, if that makes sense. But I'm also I'm completely aware that religion is the human's way of adapting.
Coping. Yeah.
It's a coping mechanism, but it works for me. So
yeah, so I've had an experience where I was dealt with, or I was got in some trouble and all that, and you were there. You I don't know, I've had to, or I reached out and I tried to be religious, because I don't know, a lot of people were saying hey, maybe how everything played out was all meant to be, blah blah blah. So I did. I went to this little meeting thing. It was a club who we bought our house. So we moved to Indiana junior year, right? And then we were moving again. And when we did, we bought a house from these religious people, and they have a teen group. It's called Anchors Away, and they were like, yo, you should come. So I did. And I was finding it pretty cool at first, how people were connecting, and I was actually starting to understand it more. But I don't know, whenever I tried to reach out and talk, I never really got anything. And I didn't I don't know, the way I think about it now is just to find the good in everything and all that stuff. I don't really I to God to pray and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but do you pray? How would you I guess what I'm trying to say is how do you find religion coming about in daily life?
Yeah. So in my childhood, I went to Sunday school.
Yeah.
And I always thought that God was an authoritative figure, and I always thought of him as superior and kind of judgmental. And it took me until high school to realize that he isn't, and he's more of a friend and an equal. And so realizing that, I also thought that praying was just saying the set prayers, the Our Father, and all that stuff. I didn't realize you could talk to him. And so once I started doing that, I kind of would just have casual conversations with him in my head. I don't, how people start prayer dear God.
Yeah, and they sit down and
I'm
everything.
literally in my head, I'm just okay, God, what the fuck?
Yeah. I feel
when something happens, and I think that's what works for me.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
that
think,
makes sense. That makes total
yeah.
sense. Like when you're, because I know people like that, and that's kind of
Mhm.
like some people who were in this group were like, yo, they weren't like super religious where they were like, I read the Bible every day, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. They were like, yo, God's cool. And I talk to him and I have a relationship with him. And it kind of got me like
Mhm.
into it a little bit. But I don't know. It just, for
Yeah.
me at least, I didn't really like get that connection. I've kept
Mhm.
trying and everything, but I think that there is a creator out there. I don't think that
Mhm.
it is like God. I don't know. I think
Mhm.
that there's a lot of evidence that backs up a certain religion. Yes,
Mhm.
but I do think that there is a creator, and I want to believe
Mhm.
that, and that. But I don't think that it is like the God that we know of. So I don't know. I'm kind of more into like science and figuring stuff out that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, in the way like science and religion, which I'm taking class. Are you taking
Yeah,
that
I'm
class?
taking philosophy right
Oh,
now.
okay, but yeah, I'm taking science and religion, and it's cool like seeing the ways that how they intertwine, how they're related, all that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I think you mentioned earlier about how you try and look at the brighter side of
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of what I use my relationship with God for. It's like when something bad happens in my life, I don't look at it as like a negative thing. I look, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What is God trying to do in my life?
Yeah.
And try and look at like the meaning behind things and not like what the actual thing is, I guess.
So I don't know. You kind of like brought up a point in my head. The philosophy that I've kind of gained and brought with this podcast and everything is like keep it wavy.
Yeah.
That's like what I kind of see as like being or like having a wavy vibe, I guess you could say, like keeping it real, being yourself, looking at the bright side of things. Don't always like find ways to like be down and everything, because if you're down, there's no way that you're gonna like be able to do what you want to do and stuff like that. So I guess what I'm doing with this podcast, that's like I'm trying to like bring out that message. But going back to the beginning when we were talking about art and everything, do you see like a future with art, or what are your like plans for the future, college, post college? I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know where I'm going to college. I'm still waiting to hear back from like 10 schools because
What schools? You want to go ahead and list them off?
No.
Okay. All right.
They're just so random because I didn't get into my top choice school, which like I look at it, it's a good thing now. But I was really like, I don't know where I'm gonna go now. And the other schools I had applied to, I was like, I don't want to go here. And so I just kind of started applying to random schools, and I would get really stressed one day, and then I would apply to like 4 schools.
Wait, so you would get stressed and then add on to your work?
Because I didn't know where I would get stressed about not like finding the right like applying to the right college for me, if that makes sense.
I think at the same time though, it's like what you make of it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But it's just in my head, like
that needs to be like
I just like in my head I'm like, I don't think I applied like all the college, like thinking like of the colleges I applied to at the point when I started like stress applying. I was like, I know like I'm not like I don't want to go to this school. Like in my heart I'm like, I don't feel like this is the right school for me. So funny story about the stress applying. Yeah. I don't know if I've told you this. So when I was one of the times I was at a friend's house and I was like applying to a random school, and she showed me something that Jesse put on his private story, and it's a picture of Rice, and he was wearing a Yukon shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Rice. And I was like, Yukon. And so I like did like a quick Google search, like did a little research for like 5 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna apply here. So I applied.
When you're doing your research, are you looking at like a specific field you want to go in? Or are you just saying like the campus looks cool, the programs look kind of interesting, and I want to go there? I mean,
yeah. All colleges present themselves very similar, so it's hard to tell from like their website if it's actually like your vibe or not. And I think
so what did you look up?
I just looked up kind of like their like what they're known for, what like
Oh,
their
okay.
campus,
Alright.
kind of stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then, yeah. And
Do you remember
I
what
wanted
came up? I'm curious. Was it like basketball?
Yeah, it was like
Okay,
basketball. Which that was like something I was like, oh, I realized that I would prefer basketball over football.
Going
So
to
it's like-
games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like maybe going to a big basketball school would be better than like a big football school.
Yeah, I don't think that they have like a really big football.
Yeah, I don't think so.
program at
Yeah.
So, it's
So
pretty interesting.
that was one of my finds. What was I had
You were
something
going.
else.
I think you were going on to say what you wanted to study.
Oh yeah. So I've for a while been thinking business, something
Okay.
like marketing or advertising.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm into.
Yeah, and so along with like the art thing, if I were to do like advertising or marketing, like I could somehow like incorporate that.
Yeah,
in,
for sure. That could be like a
like,
minor.
the visual things. Yeah.
If you want.
And I also have like an interest in psychology just from taking like AP Psych, and I think probably whatever I end
With
up
Mr.
actually.
Petty,
Yes, the
GOAT,
best.
the best
The
teacher
best. Whatever I end up doing, I think I'm gonna get a minor in psych. Just it's so useful. It's so interesting. Like
Like what?
I
know what psych is, like the study of the mind, but
mhm.
I don't know. When you took the class, were you finding ways where you were like, he's acting that sort of way, so I think that means like, I don't know. Something
Yeah, I
about him?
psychoanalyze people all the time. I'm like, if something, I can't think of an example, but like I'm like, okay, why does this person do that? And I'll just like try and be like, what could like have happened in their childhood? That's like I've psychoanalyzed my childhood so often.
Yeah.
Like I know exactly why I'm like a daddy's girl and not a mommy's girl. Like it's really fun. I don't
That's
know.
interesting though. I mean,
It is.
Cool life
It's
skill.
yeah. And it's useful because sometimes if someone does something to me and I know a little bit about what's going on in their personal life, I know it's like not me. It's like
What they're
it's
going
not
through.
yeah.
I feel that.
It's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, I mean it's all perspective, all relative to
Mhm.
what you're going through.
Yeah.
All sorts of that stuff. But hey, that was a really good podcast. This all right.
Thank you for having me.
I guess we just concluded there. Episode 4 is already recorded, already in the works, so you guys are gonna get that next Sunday at 6:30. But yeah, keep it wavy. Deuces. Interruption. Alright. So, she forgot to ask me a question, so we're gonna do that. So what's the question?
Okay. So, how do you decide what emojis to use when you text or snap?
I don't know. I think emojis are cool ways to express yourself instead of just texting. Like, texting's bland. Also, the other thing about me is I hate, like, over phone communication. Like, I absolutely hate it. I'd rather just, like, talk person to person, whatever. So, I hate texting.
Yeah.
I hate it because you can't, like, tell what the other person's thinking.
Mhm.
It's just super bland. I don't know. Like, you like to psychoanalyze people.
Yeah.
I like to, I guess, like, see what they're doing, like, they're reacting
Yeah.
when you're talking. So I try to express myself a little bit more by using emojis. I don't know. Why? Is it good? Is my emoji,
They
like,
are. I've
usage
started
good?
using
Okay.
some of your emojis.
There you go.
I literally kid you not.
I'm just saying. I kept it wavy.
Some people and I have pointed out to me that you use emojis a lot.
Oh, okay.
And it's specifically certain ones. Like the handshake one. And
Because
then
that's
the
if a deal is done, it's like, or like if a plan is made, you guys are
Yeah.
gonna go, like.
I know. It's not, it makes sense, but it's
But
just,
then also, like,
it's just like funny.
at the same time, I also just stopped caring about a lot of stuff. So, like, if
we go.
there's, like, arguments and stuff, I'm just like.
It's so funny using emojis, like,
Because
like,
also,
ironically,
I
it's
get
so
in people's
funny.
heads because I use them, because they don't know what I'm thinking at the same
Mhm.
time, because they are not used to the emoji usage.
Yeah.
Maybe people should
What's-
just start using emojis more.
I honestly have.
I
But
mean,
what's your favorite emoji?
let me check. Hold up.
Should
Let
I
me
look to
see.
see what my most recent is?
Well, okay, so my recents,
Uh-huh.
that's different.
Oh.
But
Mine's the red heart.
Mine is the crying, laughing. And
No.
then the second, yeah, the crying, laughing, right there.
Oh, that's not.
And then-
that's like sad crying.
No, that's like bawling because you're like, oh.
No,
like,
that's like bawling because you're sad.
No, okay. The way that you will send this, is somebody gets destroyed in chat, and you are like crying for them. That's how you use it. Okay. And then the second one is just the regular laughing emoji, and then the celebration one.
Yeah,
right there.
you do use that.
And the
one.
crying one, like
The
the
like,
ball eyes.
yeah, I like that one.
But I also use the wave emoji, the clap emoji, fire, fuego, and clown. Like if somebody says something stupid, I'm like clown.
My favorite one that I use is like the shrugging the shoulder.
I do use
ones.
that. That one's right there.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
one's
being
funny.
used.
Yeah.
Alright, well, there you have it. You know
Enjoy
my
the
emoji
extra.
collection. Boom. Alrighty. Deuces.
You can have your editor when we're talking about the emojis, like insert the emoji.
Oh yeah.